Yes, sir. We're back with another edition of Fast Break Bets presented by BettingPros. You know me, know the voice on the guys. Me, really well, feeling well. Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. I am so glad. Breaking news. If you didn't know, the WNBA Finals is back. Tonight is game one of the WNBA Finals. I cannot wait. I love this time of year. I love going and taking exotic bets and seeing what we can do, how much money we can make. Last year was very good. Cash to Liberty, Cash Jocko Jones, Finals MVP. I think that was at like 30-1 or something like that. It's been good. It's been good. So I have some things that I've been looking at. This is a really, really tough series to handicap, in my opinion. So we're gonna get to it. But first, I just gotta remind everybody about the Betting Pros app. Go get the Betting Pros app right now. Find your next bet over there at the Betting Pros app. What you can do is sync your sports book with the major source books, and hey, check all your bets in one spot. Just like that, you can easily monitor your bet performance by sport and bet type, picks, props, parlays, all of that. Also, we have a special offer to get Betting Pros Premium for free. All you got to do is claim the offer. Just head to bettingpros.com/premium, make a deposit at a partner sportsbook, and place your wager. And then there you go. You get Betting Pros Premium for free, where you get a whole bunch of extra over there on the app. Prop bet cheat sheets on the app, prop bet analyzer, all that stuff. NFL, WNBA, you think it, we got it. Go over there and hop on the Betting Pros app. All right. So let's talk about it. Las Vegas Aces going up against the Phoenix Mercury in the WNBA Finals. Aces are laying about 135, 115 is a money line dog for this series for the Phoenix Mercury. This is the first season that the WNBA Finals will be going to 7 games. They have been at 5 games since 2005 in the finals. They have been playing 5-game series in the finals. Now they move to a 7-game series. So it's a little bit of a different handicap. This is the first time that I'm handicapping this as well, because it's the first time we've seen 7 games in WNBA. And here's my thoughts. If you've been watching the Aces over the past playoff run, this whole playoff run. Matter of fact, let's go back even further, because I think that there's differences in these playoff runs that we've had. So if we look at the Aces' first 2 championships, they were extremely dominant in those playoffs. I'm talking about 2-0 sweep, 3-0 sweep, get to the finals, 3-1 in the finals, 3-1 in the finals. They only lost 2 finals games in those first 2 championships. That's it. 2 5-game series, or not, well, they weren't 5-game series, but 2 potentially 5-game series. They only lost 1 game. And so what's different about this playoff run? You get to the first series against the Seattle Storm, and they allow this big comeback in the second half, and they force a game 3, and then they play it all the way down to the wire. It's a 1-point win in game 3 against Seattle Storm, who, quite frank, stepped down in competition compared to what the Aces did in the second half of that season. Get to the next series. You have the Indiana Fever, down a bunch of players, step down in competition. They get it to 5. The Aces drop game 1 at home. They rarely drop games at home. So it seems this run, the Aces are playing it really, really close to their chest. And they have all season, if we're being honest. There's a lot of times this season where I'm like, oh, the Aces, I feel like they are just allowing this game to be close, whether it was a good team or a bad team. They're just allowing the game to be close at times. And so what can the Phoenix Mercury do to secure a win? Well, the level of defense they play has to increase exponentially. I feel like I said that word wrong. However, I don't know if they're going to be able to slow down the Aces offense. They've had an issue doing it this year. I don't want to look too much into the regular season, but they did not beat the Aces when Asia Wilson played in a game, and that is concerning. However, I think that when we get to these playoffs and we look at how these two teams are functioning right now, last series, the Aces didn't give up. The Aces found themselves down in the series and didn't give up and were fighting. And then, put themselves in a bad situation in game 5 and didn't continue fighting, didn't continue giving up. Even though it was a close game, they ended up, as we see, in the finals. Whereas the Phoenix Mercury in their playoff series, honestly, they're Brianna Stewart away from potentially not getting out of the first round against the New York Liberty. And then it was a Nafisa Collier away from potentially not getting out of the second round against the Minnesota Lynx. Oh, Asia, they better not jinx you. You better be perfectly fine in these finals. That's all I have to say. I'm going to still take the Aces. I had the Aces preseason. I thought the Aces would be much better than what they were this year, despite them finishing as second in the West. I think that I thought they were going to be quite better. However, I still think that the championship pedigree, I think they have the best player on the planet. And the offense, I think, is just too much for the Phoenix Mercury defense. Even though they are a good defensive team, I think that when you add all of the options and add in the fact that Dana Evans and Alyssa Smith and even Kirsten Bell are playing well, and if they give you any offensive output as well, I think the Aces are going to be able to put up points every game this series, and the games that the Phoenix Mercury win is going to come down to, can they score too, or are the Aces missing shots that night? Because as we've seen the Aces do throughout the playoff run, is that they've just shown nights where they just do not show up, and it's just incapable for them to show up. And so, I very long-winded answer to say yes, I'm still on the Aces. I think that the Aces are going to play around with their food at times. I wouldn't even be surprised if I saw the Aces go up early in the series, the Phoenix Mercury battle back, and then we're sitting here in the last game trying to figure out who the WNBA champion is going to be. So I like Aces in 7 for a series play. I I really wouldn't take the spread. If I would take the spread, I would kind of look to the Phoenix Mercury side of things, but Mercury plus 1.5 games is minus 185. So can't really do that. What else? Aces to win game 1 and aces to win the series at plus 125 is a very interesting bet, just to let everybody know. And I do have a couple series player props, but I'll save that for the end segment. Let me just go ahead and talk about game 1 real quick, because I told you Aces to win game 1. I'm laying a 3.5 with the Aces in game 1. I've talked about it before. The Aces are extremely, extremely good at home, especially in the playoffs. They don't lose too many times. They already had a letdown to the Indiana Fever earlier, and I think that the reason is because the Indiana Fever were in the state that they were. I think if they were a fully healthy team with Caitlin Clark, and this is nothing to Caitlin Clark, I think the Aces would have took them more seriously, and this would have been very even though it's the playoffs, it would have been a high level of basketball, and the Aces would have been extremely locked in and not prone to the letdown spots in the playoffs. Whereas here, they know how good the Phoenix Mercury are. They know AT. Asia Wilson has played against AT in the finals. They know how hungry she is for this championship, and they are not trying to give it to her. I think that they're going to come out. They're going to continue the offensive explosion that they've had, and the points are just going to be too much. Phoenix Mercury are going to have to regroup, and we'll see what Nate Tibbetts can do as a coach in the WNBA Finals. This is his first opportunity being able to coach in the finals, so I'm interested to see what his adjustments will be. I think the Aces come out the gate swinging. Give me Aces like 3.5. And then I have a couple of series props that I will give out. And those are just fun bets. So don't feel like you have to go. Well, you don't have to tell anything I do, to be honest. But Don't feel like you have to go super big because I'm not going super big on these, but I just got a couple of series props that I was interested in. So let's see how they play out. All right. Before I get to those, though, gotta make sure I talk to everybody about Hard Rock Bet. Make sure you get in and lock in with Hard Rock Bet. They have a special offer for our listeners where you bet just $5. If that bet wins, you get $150 in bonus bets. WNBA Finals tips off tonight, and you can bet that and NBA futures before the season tips off. Bet on Finals MVP, Rookie of the Year, Six Man, all of that stuff in the NBA. And if you don't want to tune up to preseason hoops, football is still here. You've got football promos going on in the NFL, college, every game day, profit boost, all of that. So go check it out. Hard Rock Bet app today. Download it and make your first deposit. Okay, I did play two props in the same market. I went to threes leader. Asia is a runaway favorite for points leader, and I actually don't think anybody's going to be able to keep up with her in the points leader market. Maybe if AT has a great defensive series against her, then it would probably go to Jackie Young. But I have the Jackie Young Finals MVP at 25-1. The points and the total points is at 25-1 as well. So it makes sense. I don't think Satu Cleocopper or AT are going to be able to keep up those two. I really don't. Regardless, win or lose, I don't think they'll be able to keep up. I would have liked to get spicy there, but I couldn't. I'm still trying to in my head right now, but I can't. I'm sorry. Rebounds leader, Asia's at minus 340. Alyssa Thomas at plus 250 is interesting. Natasha Mack at 100-1 is interesting just because it's 100-1. But I think that's going to be relatively chalk. If it's not Asia, it's probably going to be Alyssa Thomas. And Alyssa Thomas is minus 2,000 total assists. I would actually, okay, I did not play this. Oh, I hate that I keep playing Aces stuff. I really wanted to spread the love a little bit more, but okay. Alyssa Thomas is at minus 2,000 for assist leader. The Aces play her particularly well, and they really, really take away the assist opportunities for her when they play her. It's been happening here in Phoenix. It's happened when she was in Connecticut. And so I would take a stab at Chelsea Gray to lead the total series in assists at 14-1. That is a prop I would take a stab at. I wouldn't look at anybody else. I think it's Alyssa Thomas or Chelsea Gray. Although Jackie Young is interesting for my 40-1, Jackie Young is very interesting, but I would say 14-1, Chelsea Gray. Okay, so for the two that I actually was planning to give out, we're going to threes leader. Satu Sabli plus 115, Jackie Young plus 450, Sammy Wickham plus 5-1, Kalia Copper 7-1, Jewel Lloyd 8-1, Chelsea Gray 30-1, Catherine Westbeld 100-1, Asia Wilson 201. I'm gonna go with Jackie Young and Sammy Wickham at plus 450 and 5-1 respectively. So Sammy is coming off of the bench. However, the Aces are giving up, 39% in the playoffs per game. 36.7%. That's second to last in the playoffs, only to the Seattle Storm, who were at 40% in that one playoff series. But they've given up 36.7%. Now, Phoenix Mercury are going to be the best three-point defending team that they played yet. However, Jackie Young is Jackie Young. And Jackie Young is going to, one, take the attempts. Jackie Young is going to be consistent. Jackie Young will honestly have a chance to finish each one of these games with 2 threes and maybe have a big explosion game with that. Maybe she has a little bit of a down game, but Jackie Young feels good. I have a lot of Jackie Young stock in these playoffs, so I think the plus 450 was solid. But Sammy is the one because Sammy has multiple 4+3 games against the Aces. I think that at home, she can definitely deliver on a 4+3 game. She may give you that aspect on the road. And she can also consistently hit two a game. I think there was one, she had one crazy stretch this season where she was hitting two threes a game for like a number of games straight. When was it? Because I remember when she was going on that one stretch of the season. But it's possible and it's doable for her. And when she gets hot from three, it can keep going. And this Aces team doesn't guard the perimeter particularly the best. So Sammy at 5-1 is also interesting. I wish these were better priced, but you know what? It is what it is. That is what I'm going with, and that is everything that I have to give out to you. I'm laying 3.5 with the Aces in game one. I'm going to the threes leader market. I'm taking Sammy Wickham and Jackie Young, just a little stab. I want to fade the leader in Satu Sabali because Satu, as much as she's plus 115 and leading this, Satu can get in her own head at times, and then be in a nasty, ugly shooting slump. And plus, the Aces are really, really weak inside the paint. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a game plan switch and Satu plays a little bit more inside the paint. So I like those two plays. I like Las Vegas in 7, maybe not as much. Again, these are just little itty bitty sprinkles here. And then I am going to put something on Chelsea Gray to lead the series in assists at 14-1. All right. With that, that's it. I'm at really real __. Make sure you give me a follow on X at BettingPros on X and TikTok at BettingPros NFL on Instagram and YouTube.com/BettingPros. And with that, that is it. I have nothing else to say, nothing else. Do no other way of ending the podcast. Just going to like this. So glad for the finals to be back. We're out of here.